Your teacher today is Dr. Bbosa Science. Dr. Bbosa is a teacher at the Science Foundation College, the best school that teaches sciences. Today, 6th January 2021, we are going to study Ecology, Lesson 1 of 3. Our website is digitalteachers.co.ug. Here find the notes, exams and their marking guides in physics, chemistry, biology, math and primary subjects. Or visit our YouTube channel for related videos in physics, chemistry, biology, math and primary subjects. Please subscribe to promote my videos. The best secondary school in Uganda is the Science Foundation College. The best primary school in Uganda is Rock of Ages Primary School. Ecology is the study of relationships of living organisms with each other and their non-living environment. The study of ecology helps us to understand and improve agriculture, forestry, fisheries, and conservation. Biosphere. This is part of Earth where life exists. It is subdivided into regions with unique environmental conditions such as tropical rainforests, deserts, temperate regions, land and water called biomass. These biomass support characteristic organisms with special adaptations. For instance, animals in the deserts are able to withstand hot and dry conditions, while organisms in tundra withstand very low temperatures. Abiotic or environmental factors that affect distribution of organisms on land. 1. Soil provides vital link between living and non-living components. Qualities of soil include size and nature of inorganic particles, the amount of water available, the amount of air, presence of humus and organic matter, presence and absence of microorganisms, soil temperature, and dissolved mineral salts. Variations in these qualities would determine the particular organisms that can live in a particular soil. 2. Climate. It refers to predictable long-term patterns of rainfall, light, and temperature. Weather is a short-term environment conditions. For instance, it may be windy, cold and wet in the morning, and calm and hot in the afternoon. Elements of weather include Roman 1, rainfall that provides water. Roman 2, sunshine or light. The effects of light on organisms include photosynthesis in plants, photoperiodic behavior, for example, flowering in plants, phototropism, phototaxis, movement towards light or away from light, vision in animal, migration in animals, and reproduction. The third element is temperature. Most organisms can survive between 0 and 40 degrees, although some organisms can survive below or above this temperature. The fourth element is relative humidity. Low relative humidity leads to high loss of water from organism and may cause dehydration. High humidity in hot environment may prevent cooling of organisms by reducing the rate of evaporation. An element 5 is wind. Occasional stormy wind flattens trees and kills animals. Continuous strong wind can prevent trees from establishing. Wind is important in pollination, seed and fruit dispersal, and transpiration. Strong wind closes stomata and reduces transpiration. Wind facilitates or stops flight. If the bird is flying in the direction of wind, energy for flight is reduced. When the birds or insects are flying against the direction of wind, then they need a lot of energy, or they may not fly at all. Factor 3 is air. Oxygen is used for respiration, while carbon dioxide is used for photosynthesis. Abiotic factor number 4 is fire. It may be caused by friction, lightning, volcanic eruption, or carelessly set by human beings. Ecological effects of fire include death of organisms, migration of organisms, leads to soil erosion and leaching, destroy vectors, pests and parasites, increase vision of the prey and the predator to look far, survival of resistant species. There are some species which are not easily killed by fire. They remain and proliferate. The invasion of new species. The fifth abiotic factor is topography. It refers to altitude, slope, and aspects of a place. This affects organisms by altering the amount of rain. Some part of the hill may not receive rain, while another one receives rain. The amount of water in soil. Slopes don't have waterlogged soils, while valleys have got waterlogged soils. Light, humidity, temperature, and wind. Factors that affect distribution of organisms in water include salinity, that affects osmoregulation. Animals that cannot osmoregulate cannot live in fresh water. 2. Nutrient availability, i.e. nitrates and phosphates. Lakes with low phosphates and nitrates, oligotrophic, contain more species than lakes with high levels of nitrates and phosphates, who are eutrophic lakes. In eutrophic lakes, high levels of nitrates and phosphates promotes growth of algae and other photosynthetic organisms. This in turn supports large number of aerobic bacteria that decompose dead photosynthetic organisms. Eventually, oxygen in water is used up, causing death of other aquatic organisms. 3. Depth of water. Shallow water cannot support big organisms such as whale. 4. Temporary water bodies do not support organisms like a fish that must live in water. 5. Tidal strength. Very strong tides do not allow presence of big organisms. 6. Temperature. High temperature reduces amount of air in water. 7. Turbidity reduces light penetration. Biotic factors. Through different associations, organisms affect distribution of each other. Organisms may feed or live on others, or may receive protection from others. Types of intimate association. 1. Parasitism. A parasite is an organism that lives on or in another organism from which it feeds. Challenges faced by a parasite. Locating a new host. How can a worm move from my stomach to somebody else's? Entering the host. There's a problem. Most hosts are also protected by hard covers. Overcoming host rejection. Of course, nobody is welcoming a parasite. Adaptations of parasites. Endoparasites show degeneracy or loss of some non-essential parts to reduce on energy demands from the host. For example, tapeworms don't have legs. 2. Strong attachment devices. For example, suckers in tapeworms to cling on the host. 3. Produce chemicals that turn off host immune system. 4. Produce a lot of mucus over their body to protect themselves from digestive enzymes. 5. Produce enzymes that soften host body to allow entry. 6. Employ secondary hosts. For example, tapeworm use pig or cow. 7. Have resistant stages to survive adverse conditions. 8. Big number of offsprings to increase chances of finding a host. 2. Commensalism. It is a relationship in which one party benefits while another does not lose or gain anything. Although that is not true commensalism. Probably like a mad person feeding on the dustbin. 3. Mutualism is a relationship from which both organisms benefit. In region, for example, the fungus absorbs water from atmosphere while the algae photosynthesize for both. 4. Predation. A predator kills and feeds on another organism called a prey. For example, a lion feeds on zebra. Energy transfer. Energy from the sun is trapped by plants that produce food, then transferred to herbivores, to carnivores, and all decomposers to environment. It is important to note that energy moves in one direction, from the sun to the environment, in the form of heat through plants and animals. Food chain is a feeding relationship showing a sequence of organisms using arrows from organism that is being eaten to organism that eats it. For example, grass is eaten by grasshopper, grasshopper is eaten by chicken, chicken is eaten by man. Each level in a food chain is called a trophic level. The first trophic level is occupied by a producer or autotrophic organism, followed by a primary to secondary consumer, and so on. There are usually not more than 5 trophic levels due to energy loss at each trophic level, that there may not be enough energy to support organisms on the 6th trophic level. Food web is a feeding relationship where an organism feeds on or being fed on by more than one organism. For example, worm, insect, mice feed on grass, toad, lizard feed on insect, man feeds on toad, snake, and mice. Ecological pyramids. These are drawn based on different quantities of organisms of trophic levels. 1. Pyramids of numbers. These are drawn based on the number of organisms at each trophic level. It is assumed that the number of organisms on lower trophic levels are more than the number of organisms on higher trophic levels. That is, producers are more than primary consumers are more than secondary consumers are more than tertiary consumers. Inverted pyramids. They may be of many types. A. One big tree feeds many caterpillars. The caterpillar are fed on by a few birds and one man. B. One big tree feeds many caterpillars that contain many parasites. Or C. Many plants feeds few birds that contain many parasites. 2. Pyramids of biomass are drawn based on total mass of all organisms at each trophic level. Pyramids of biomass may be inverted where a few phytoplankton, due to high turnover, are able to support zooplankton of bigger biomass. 3. Pyramids of energy are drawn based on total energy content at each trophic level. Pyramids of energy are never inverted. Carbonyl cycle. Carbon dioxide in the atmosphere is converted to organic substances by plants. Some of them are respired back to carbon dioxide. Some plants are eaten by animals. When animals respire, they produce carbon dioxide. Animals and plants may die and be converted to either peat, coal, oil, or gas, which are used by the industry back to atmosphere. Nitrogen cycle. Nitrogen in the atmosphere is converted to ammonia by Haber process, or nitrates by nitrogen fixing bacteria. Ammonia is converted to nitrates by nitrosomonas Nitrates are converted to nitrates by nitrobacter. Then nitrates are absorbed by plants or converted to nitrogen in atmosphere by denitrifying bacteria. In plants, nitrates are converted to proteins which are eaten by plants, or both plants and animals die to become dead matter. Dead matter decomposed to produce ammonia. All animals pass out ammonia in urine. Thank you so much for listening to this video. Our website is digitalteachers.co.ug. Here find notes, exams and their marking guides in physics, chemistry, biology and math. Or visit our YouTube channel for related videos in physics, chemistry, biology, math and primary subjects. Please subscribe to promote my videos. Subscription is free. The best secondary school in Uganda is the Science Foundation College. The best primary school in Uganda is Rock of Ages Primary School, Chiwanga.